Hey folks, Dan here. I'm actually out for a walk today and thought I'd sort of pop my phone out and take a quick video. I wanted to talk briefly about some of the things that I do to clear my mind when I'm just in a bad psychological headspace for trading. And I think this sort of takes two different iterations. Or it comes from two different places. One is just if I'm having a bad trading day, meaning I'm sort of gotten to a bad space throughout the day, and maybe I just need a reset around 2 p.m., right? Um, in those sorts of cases, things that work for me, this is going to be different for everyone else. So please share in the comments below if you have things that work well for you that you want to share with others. But for me, just changing my location, right? Getting out of the room that I'm trading in and going into another room and stretching, doing a little workout, maybe even watching a funny video, something like lighthearted and enjoyable and not focused on trading. Those things help. Also, getting outside in nature just for a brief period of time can definitely help just kind of reset the mind and give yourself some space and say, okay, let me go back and try to reassess and restart with a better mindset. The situation that I'm in right now is the second sort of situation where I've hit a bit of a cold streak. So the last couple of weeks have been pretty challenging, and I know the market had been choppy and things like that, and there's still a lot of like FUD out there in terms of all-time highs and people feeling like things are overvalued and so on and so forth. But and this has caused a lot of market choppiness. And maybe what I'm experiencing is tied to that, but maybe it's not. And so in that type of a case, I like to pull myself out from being super, super fixated on what's happening every moment in the markets and give myself a little space to just contemplate. Contemplating a couple of things in this particular period of time. One, do I think that my system is broke? Or do I think it's just not performing great in this current market condition? But in the overall view of things, in the macro view, it will actually be fine. And this is just sort of like a bump in the road. Or do I need to tinker with my process, readjust it, maybe just make it better overall, or maybe just make it better for the current conditions? And that this will be something that will just kind of like come up periodically where you have to adjust and kind of readdress how you're approaching certain things, what your criteria is for trading, what your catalysts and triggers are for entering and exiting. And I don't know. I don't know right now. I'm reluctant to throw out the process that had been working really well for me. But I'm also a pretty good tinkerer, meaning I enjoy tinkering. I enjoy sort of the creative process of coming up with a new way to approach something and trying it out and tossing it out if it doesn't work, glomming onto it if it does, seeing if there's a way that I can sort of punch it up if it does work. But I just don't know right now. And so I'm trying to give myself a little bit of space to know that I need to figure that out and that I don't need to rush into it. That I can give myself some time to let it, like I said, roll around in the back of my head while I do other things that I enjoy. Spending time in nature, chopping wood, working out, spending time with family. All these things work really well for me. Maybe sometime I'll show you the mass wood pile I've accumulated in a short period of time, all by hand chopping it with an axe. But in any case, I thought that I would just kind of jump in and say, if you've hit cold streaks, or if you're in the middle of one right now, or if you've come across this exact type of challenge where you're like, I need some space right now. I really love trading and I really want to sort of figure it out and continue forward. But right now, I'm got myself into a bad headspace because things just seem to constantly be going against me. And I need to figure it out. But I don't know how to figure it out, right? It's the giving yourself time to even figure out how to approach the figuring it out. And I'm a bit of slower of a thinker on these things sometimes. I really need to like give them some space and some time to marinate. So I just thought I'd hop in and say, I don't know if folks make very many videos on talking about hitting cold streaks and stuff like that. I'm sure it's out there. But I also know a lot of folks really are like, look at my mansion, and look at this new car that I bought, and look at this latest 400% return that I had. And they don't talk much about their losses or their cold streaks or things that really frustrate them or sort of put them into a pit of despair as it pertains to trading. So I thought I would just sort of like lend my voice to that and just say, if you're in that place right now, you're not alone. And I will certainly keep sharing, my tinkers, or if I decide not to tinker, why, and if I do, what works, what doesn't. And this isn't to say that what works for me is going to work for you, but just to say that, like, there's a camaraderie there. There's people are going through the same thing at different points in time. So in any case, we'll get there. We'll figure out. I haven't lost the passion and the enjoyment. So that's, the other end of the spectrum there. If that ever changes, then to me, that's a bit of a different story. But this isn't that. All right, folks. Well, like I said, if you have ideas or if you have things that work for you in terms of like quick resets or longer term resets for your trading mentality, things that give you some space, allow you to sort of just have some room to reevaluate and reassess, please put those in the comments. I think it'll help folks, who watch this down the line. And though it may not be a lot of folks that are watching just yet, maybe as things continue to grow, this will be super valuable to some people down the road. All right, folks. In any case, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.